Hi guys, I'm here today to do a currently reading. So tomorrow is the last day of July and I want to try and finish these books that I'm now going to show you by the end of tomorrow so that I can sort of start August with a fresh slate. Now that doesn't usually bother me, but I'm going to try and do the NEWTs, so that's the Newts Readathon, created and hosted by the channel Book Roast, so do definitely go check that out. I'll link that down below. So in a day or so I'll have a TBR for that being uploaded. It's a month-long readathon. So I want to try and start with a, a sort of clean-ish plate and not have too many books that I'm part way through. So my reading hasn't gone brilliantly the last month or so. One, because of the heat. I just tend to read less during the summer, and not even because it's been like too hot to read, but just because I am someone who takes joy in reading when it's sort of grey and outside and feels a bit more cosy, and obviously we just get less of that in the summer. And also I've just been quite busy with family and friends, so therefore haven't filmed much or haven't read much. So yeah, but I'm feeling like I'm not going to be as busy in August, and also hopefully it won't be as consistently hot throughout the whole of August, so I'll get back into reading. So excited about loads of new books I've got and loads of new releases, just can't wait to get to them all. So yeah, I'll chat to you about these ones quickly and then I can start August afresh. So first in my audiobook, I'm still making my way through the Harry Potter books on audio, so I'm now going to be on the Deathly Hallows, the 7th book, because I've just finished the Half-Blood Prince, and I've been finding more time to listen to audiobooks than I had been, because previously it was just on the way to work and back from work. I can put my headphones in at work, but I can't concentrate on podcasts or audiobooks, and I usually just put like ASMR or white noise sounds on when I'm trying to concentrate. So recently Johnny and I started doing jigsaw puzzles, so we did one last week of all like different cat breeds, and I have one at the moment which is actually a bit naff, but it's of like a big cosy bookshop, so we're going to try and do that one, and it means that I just play an audiobook whilst we do it, which is really nice. So I should get through that one pretty quickly, probably not by the end of the month because I've not even started it yet, but I'm happy to take that one into August. And then the actual physical books I'm reading are, so this is The Mars Room by Rachel Kushner. I was sent this quite a few months ago without me requesting it, and I always have a little look at what the books are about that I'm sent and read the first couple of pages, and if I don't like the sound of them I don't keep them because I have too many books. But I did like the sound of this. I'm really interested in prisons, particularly in women's prisons, which don't get spoken about anywhere near as much, and this is focused on a lady who's been sent to prison for the rest of her life. She's not going to get out. And yeah, so I had this on my shelf. It was one I was going to read, and then obviously it got longlisted for the Man Booker, and I've been really out of love with Man Booker for quite a few years now because I think it tends to be quite dry, the same old big names and the same old stories, and I was really excited this year to see sort of, I think there's been, I'm not going to really go into depth about discussion of this, the list isn't particularly diverse in terms of nationalities and that type of diversity, but I do think the list is more eclectic in terms of there being lots of newer authors, people who haven't been given as much of a chance before, and it just feels like quite fresh in terms of not seeing lots of repeat names. So it's getting there. Obviously a prize like the Man Booker that has historically been quite biased isn't going to change overnight, but it's getting there, I think. So yeah, I'm partway through this. I've got about a third of it to go, about 80 pages, and then I'm going to sit and finish this today. I've got really conflicted feelings about this one, so I think it's going to have to wait until I finished it to know how I truly feel. On the one hand, I'm really enjoying it. On the other hand, there's a lot of stuff that makes me feel quite uncomfortable and that I feel is probably quite gratuitous. So yeah, there's that one. And then I am reading this non-fiction book. This is Looking Up Our Own, Crime and Punishment in Black America by James Foreman Jr. So I can tell you when I bought this because I put post-it notes in books now. I bought this on the 9th of February because I just finished reading the new Jim Crow, Mass Incarceration in the Age of Colourblindness by Michelle Alexander. And I really enjoyed it. It's a phenomenal book. It is really worth all the hype. However, I felt like you can't just read one book on those sort of topics and nod in agreement without doing any more research and then just tout that as the one book that you think talks about, this topic. Because actually there's people who have done equal amount of research as Michelle Alexander has, but who have a different point of view on it. And without reading or listening to their points of view, all I'm doing is blindly following the one I've heard about. So I looked into loads of other authors who'd done similar research, but maybe come up with opposing ideas, or maybe agreed with her ideas but felt that it needed more depth, or all sorts of things. And one of the ones that sounded the most interesting was this one. So it says on the back, this sort of quite easily explains what it's about. Critics of America's criminal justice system have assailed the rise of mass incarceration, emphasising its disproportionate impact on people of colour. As James Forman Jr. points out, however, the war on crime that began in the 1970s was supported by many African American leaders. In Locking Up Our Own, he seeks to understand why. So yeah, I'm not very far into this at all, like on the second chapter, but I really like his tone. There's quite a lot of names in terms of politicians and judges to know, so I have to read this one. I can really concentrate. I don't know if I will finish this by tomorrow because I don't want to rush it, but I am off work today, so yeah, I've got quite a bit of time to read, so we shall see. And then I read the first short story in this ages ago, and that's The Sing of the Shore by Lucy Wood. Been really bad last year and this year with short story collections. I think I've read one so far this year. Just got out of the habit of reaching for a short story, which is a real shame. And I have like 30 or 40 unread on my shelves that at one point I was really excited about, and I'm trying to sort of get myself back into that. This is the only other new short story collection I have that I've received in this year, so I thought, well, I'll finish this one and then I'm going to start going back to the ones I bought a while ago and actually read them. So yeah, I've read the first short story in this, and I'm going to carry on and hopefully manage this by tomorrow evening. It's quite an easy collection to read. So I've read her other collection, which is called Diving Bells, and I've read her novel, which is called Weathering. I didn't love either of them, but she's still an author that I quite enjoy and like to see what she does next. So yeah, we shall see how that one goes. And then the only other book I wanted to mention is Everything Under by Daisy Johnson. Now this can, like, depends on how much reading I get done today, so I want to do some more jigsaw, listen to an audiobook, probably going to try and watch a film tonight, and also John and I have been replaying the old Crash Bandicoots that have been re-released recently. And we're now starting the third one, and I want to play quite a bit of that today, so I have quite a few indoor plans, which may mean I don't get as much reading done as I'd like to. However, if I do feel like doing some more reading, and I'm making really good headway with all of those, the next book I want to pick up is this, and that's Everything Under by Daisy Johnson. So I read Fen by her, which is a short story collection, and some of the stories I thought were phenomenal. A few I felt were a bit mediocre, but I felt that throughout the atmosphere and the voice were on point, and I loved them. And you know, I'm always going to connect to her style of writing because she writes about the Fens, which is where I'm from. She references lots of local sort of folklore, which I obviously adore, and also I just really enjoy reading young female writers who talk about you know, young women and have sort of myths and legends mixed in. And this is her first novel, which is also longlisted for the Man Book, which I was super surprised. This was one of her most anticipated releases of the year, so it was exciting to see that it made the list. And this isn't too long, a couple of 100 pages, and I think this is set on a houseboat, so that seems like a pretty good setting, and I've never read a book set on a houseboat, so yeah, there's that one. So those are the books I'm currently reading. Do let me know down below if you've read any of those, and also feel free to recommend me other books on the topic of mass incarceration, because as I said, I really love the new Jim Crow, and I'm enjoying the one I'm reading as well. And also just let me know what else you're reading. I'd love to hear from you guys. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.